So there's 4 different kinds of people. You have your goal setters, you have your systems creators, you have a combination of the two, and then you also have an intentional life living person. Now, let's jump into the goal setters. These people, like me, I'm a goal setter, by the way, and it sucks. It's hard. It's rough. You have to beat these habits. You look at something and you're like, oh man, that's a beautiful mountain. I want to be on top of that mountain. I'm going to go hike that mountain right now. I'm going to be on the mountain. But you're in your pajamas and you're wearing flip-flops, and so you see the beautiful mountain and you start hiking and you realize, oh, my footwear's not good and the blisters on my feet are starting to form and it's really cold outside and all I have is a t-shirt and some flannel pants. This isn't a good idea. Or maybe you see that big shiny house on the hill and you're like, I want that house. I'm going to work really, really hard to get that house. I'm going to put in extra time. I'm going to get overtime. I'm going to do all of the things that I need to be able to pay off this house. And you do them all. And then you realize that your mortgage is so expensive that you can't live any other aspects of your life. We are the people who struggle because we dream. We spend too much time with our head in the clouds and we keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, but we don't take the time to create a system that aligns with our life and our values that will bring us success. System creators. These are the people who are genius. These guys are awesome. They are able to find and create systems that work for them. However, the caveat here is they don't have a lot of goals. Of course, they have goals, but they put a cap on their goals because their systems are created around security. They want to be safe. So they're creating really safeguards. They might have a different word other than systems, but they get a good job. That's going to give them a good income. That's going to support the lifestyle that they want to live in terms of their safety. But they have their dreams out here, but they suppress them and put them in because if their dreams go outside of the boundaries of the systems they've created, it creates risk. And that's scary. These are the kind of people who won't leave a job that they absolutely hate because they have good health insurance. The workplace is toxic. The employees are toxic. They don't even like the job that they do, but they won't leave because they're safe. Now, here's the thing. You have the combination of the two. You have the goal setters and system creators, and these guys are wildly successful. These are the people who see, oh, that's an awesome, I'm gonna go and get that car, and that's a beautiful car, and I'm gonna work really hard. This is what I have to do it, and I'm going to work so many hours. I'm gonna budget my time. I'm gonna do overtime for this amount of time, and then I'll be able to have my car. They get the car, they have the system, but in the process, it was at the expense of their family and the expense of their faith. They stopped attending church so they could do overtime on Sundays, or they stopped doing date nights so they could do overtime, stay more time at the office on date nights. They didn't go to the baseball games because they had to put in the hours to get that car. And then they show up to their family and they say, hey, I got you this new car. And in reality, their family's like, yeah, we don't really care about the car. We actually just wanted you. So now you got the combination of all three. Just a quick recap. You got the goal setter who doesn't have good systems. They'll try and work hard, and then they find out that they absolutely hate it, and they usually quit, and they don't ever achieve their goal. And then you have the system creators who don't have good goals because they suppress their dreams, but they have systems geared around security, and they have good systems, but they're quite suppressed. And then you have the combination of the two, which is they set goals. I don't know if we call them good goals, but they set goals and they create systems to accomplish their goals, and they actually accomplish their goals. They get them, but it's the expense of everything else. And now we have the person who lives their life intentionally. This person is the combination of all of them, really. This person has experience being the goal setter. They have experience being the system creator, and probably at times they've had experience of being both of those without living intentionally. And they're learning. They're learning how that feels, what it looks like, and how it shows up in their life. And because of that, they're making adjustments in their life to live intentionally. Now here's where the good stuff is. If you've watched this far, I'm getting into the meat here. This is where we start to change patterns and behaviors and create a system that works for us in our lives. Meaning that all the experiences you've had in your life up to this point is going to be of very much value, because that's what you're going to use to inform your future self, meaning the person even just 5 minutes from now, how you're going to operate in the future and what you're going to do to bring yourself the most amount of fulfillment and increase your level of potential. Not to chase somebody else's dreams and not to live somebody else's life, but to live the one that you want to live and to be in the circles that you want to be in. This is awesome. Here's where it starts. We start with awareness. We've got to take some time to sit back and analyze, where are we? Where have we been? What are my values? What do I really want from my life? You got to take some time. And I mean, not just like 5 minutes. I mean, you need a couple of hours to sit down with a journal and map out where you are now. We're not talking about where we're going to be in the future yet. That's coming, but we're not there yet. We need to know where we are now. What did we do yesterday? How did we feel about it? What have we done today? What feelings have shown up? Are we depressed? Are we anxious? What are our biggest fears? What things do we want the most out of our lives right now? Those are the things that we need to be able to see with the most clarity that we possibly can. You gotta spend some time on this. Next, we're gonna jump in to the vision. What does your perfect life look like right now? If you were living your perfect life, what kind of clothes are you going to wear? What kind of car are you driving? What are your relationships? Who are they? Where are they? What are the things that you would see and envision in the perfect version of yourself today? And then let's make sure that we actually move this forward a little bit. And let's go 5 years, 10 years into the future and look at that person. What do they look like? Who do they associate with? What organizations are they a part of? Do they have a daily routine? Have they achieved personal goals? Are they wasting time? What do they look like? What hobbies do they have? Where are they spending their time? This is important. Now, a lot of us, especially if you're a system creator, this is going to be hard for you. This isn't hard for me because I'm a goal setter. I'm the opposite of a system creator. I'm a goal setter, and that means I'm a dreamer. My head's in the clouds. I could do this pretty easily. So if you're a system creator, put away your barriers for just a minute. Put away your fear for just a minute and just ask yourself this question: if you knew that you couldn't fail, and if you knew there was absolutely no risk whatsoever, no money, bills, pain, suffering, no risk whatsoever, where would you be? What would that look like? Same amount of time, guys. Spend time on this one. This one is supposed to be enjoyable. This one is supposed to get your heart pumping just a little bit and say, wow, that would be cool. And if it doesn't, you're doing it wrong. Okay. Step number 3. This is huge. This is the big part of this formula that sets you aside from being a goal setter, a system creator, the combination of the two, and being an intentional liver. See, I've tried to come up with a different phrase because intentional liver just doesn't sound good. Intentional liver. Can a liver be intentional? I suppose it can, but it doesn't sound. Anyway, so you're living your life intentionally. Okay, that's the person that we want to be. We're separating it between those 3 and this one. Okay, this is what's going to separate us and make us intentional. We're going to spend time figuring out what we value absolutely the most. What do we value? Faith, family, kindness, love, respect. And then we're going to make sure that we list as many of these out as we possibly can. And then we're going to take that list and we're going to circle the ones that feel the most important to us. And we're going to take that list and we're going to narrow it down even to probably like 5 or 6, starting with the most important. Don't do more than 6 because you're gonna run yourself rugged if you do. And then you're going to list these in the absolute priority. These are like absolutes. This is a game changer. This is a deal breaker. You cannot live your life without this. But make sure that these values are anchored by true principles. And then we're going to anchor these values and true principles to your vision. Okay. That's where it starts to get cool. So now you're going to take your vision and you're going to say, okay, what does this person look like that I just had so much fun envisioning as it pertains to living my values and priorities in order? So if faith is your number one, your duty to God or whatever your religion is, if faith is number one, how does that show up in the very best version of yourself? What does that look like? If family's number 2, how is that showing up? Where's your time being spent? And is it adequate to really reflect that you value your family? Prove it, essentially, is what I'm saying. This is why living intentionally is so much more fulfilling, is because now you're spending time on the things that are going to bring you the biggest net return in terms of fulfillment. You're spending time with the things that matter most to you. And naturally, that creates intrinsic fulfillment. I mean, you're living the life that you finally want to live. Is it going to be perfect? No. That's why this intentional living person is experiencing all 3 of those other categories, but they're learning from it. They're doing this exercise over and over, by the way. Number 4, last one. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is what makes this all matter. This is what gives us the traction. We've been in the clouds for the first little bit here. We've been in the dream phase. We've been in the planning phase. We've been journaling. We've been writing a bunch of stuff down. Now we're going to put our money where our mouth is. Systems and goals. Okay, I'm going to talk about this for just a second because I think this is really, really important. Goals are what we envision, right? These are stepping stones in the bigger picture, right? We just spent some time crafting our vision and thinking about what that looks like and then anchoring our values and true principles to our vision. Now our goals are stepping stones getting us to the vision. They're not the vision itself. They're just stepping stones getting us to the vision. So as we look at that, sometimes we have to start real small. We have to say, I want to read a book every year. I want to read a book. Not listen to one, not pull it up on my phone. I want like a paperback book, hardcover book, and I want to read it. And I want Harry Potter, I don't know, self-help books, whatever that is. I want to read a book. And that's helping to fulfill the value of gaining knowledge, or maybe a recreation, however that aligns with your values. You want to read a book. That's a goal. Now let's create a system. You'll see how this is different. The system is the vehicle that takes us to the target, or the system that helps us stay on target. It's what helps us accomplish the goal. So we need to make a system that makes sense, that's easy, and that will be able to show up in your life in a way that you enjoy. What that's going to look like is you sitting down and saying, okay, what's the most realistic thing that I can do to create a space where I can do this? And you might also have to talk to your family, your spouse, whoever, so you can create that timing and make it make sense. And so if you really like the evening hours, you create this system that triggers you to be able to be successful, meaning you place a book on a table that you walk past every night before you go to bed. You see the book. You pick up the book because you saw the book. Now it's in your mind. And you've already set the stage to your location of where you're going. You're going to sit in a rocking chair. And you have a dim light that's very relaxing. And it's this rocking chair. You've already talked to your family. The kids are in bed, whatever that looks like for you. And you have 30 minutes carved out where you're going to do nothing but reading. Everybody understands. You've gone through all of the processes to make that make sense for you. And you've set the stage. The rocking chair is already there. The light, all you have to do is flip a switch. You already have your evening shoes, nightgown, everything ready to make you the most comfortable, whatever that looks like. So you've set this system in place, going beyond the specific goal, right? Just because it was specific doesn't mean that it was the creation of a system. You've set this routine in place, this new habit that you're forming. The book may change, but the system will not, if it makes sense, if it's working, right? If this is working for you. That's where goals and systems differ, okay? That probably wasn't the best example, but I hope it gives some relevance to your life, okay? This is what's going to set you apart from the people who don't achieve what they're trying to achieve. Because oftentimes we'll set a goal to go running in the morning. We set the goal, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 15 pounds, right? We're all going to be doing that after the holidays. I want to lose 15 pounds, get this turkey off of my hips. And so we say, I'm going to go running in the morning. Why? Because running's how you lose weight. That's specific. I'm going to go running for 30 minutes in the morning, and I'm going to work out 30 minutes every morning. I'm going to do it right before I go to work, blah, 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 okay? Yeah, it was all specific. Yeah, it all made sense. But the problem is it didn't align with your values, because it turns out you hate running. And so, of course, you're not going to want to run. And you quit and you give up. Let me be very clear, not because it was hard. You have been doing hard things your whole life. Since the time that you were born, you've been doing hard things. You learned how to walk, for Pete's sake. That's hard. This has nothing to do with it being difficult. Has everything to do with it not being pertinent or applicable to your values. You can get up at an alarm clock that wakes you up to go to work because you know you need a paycheck, you know you need health insurance, and you know you need to show up to your job or you're going to get fired and lose those things. So you wake up at 6:30 in the morning and go to work, whether you want to or not. However, when you set the alarm clock to go running, you snooze it. Why? Because it likely didn't align well enough with your values. Chances are you still value being healthy, and perhaps you are a runner and you still want to run, but you absolutely hate waking up in the morning. Bad system. So you go running in the evening because it makes sense. And you're doing it because you love it. You love running in the evening. It makes sense now. Now you're creating a good system. Something that actually is going to sustain you, but you have to carve it into your life. You've got to replace some bad habits and some good habits. That's also why I'm a coach, is I help people to navigate these complexities. I'll tell you one thing as I'm wrapping up this video. I hope this helps, by the way. This is a system, a formula, if you will, that's going to help you to be successful. Now, one thing that I've learned pretty consistently as I've gone through this myself is I've learned, gosh, I suck at this. That's something that I've learned. And failure is such a wonderful teacher. That's what's helped me to figure out this process that I go through. And sometimes I wallow in depression and I'm in the mire, the figurative mire, and it sucks. But you know what? You've got something to come back to that's going to put you back on track. That's the whole point. This is what sets us apart. Okay? This is what's going to create traction, momentum, and growth in your life. And you're going to have a bright future to come back to even when times get hard. One of the most consistent things that I've seen across the board for me is it's nice to have somebody to walk you through the process. Doing this alone is really, really hard. However, it's a lot better than not doing it at all. I've spent most of my time doing it alone. That's why I decided to become a coach, is because I see how valuable that is. Now, I'm not trying to sell you on coaching here. I'm trying to give you a formula that will help to change your life. And if you find somebody in your life that can do this for you, please do it. and see how marvelous these changes can be. I mean, I can do that for you, except for you have to pay for me. That being said, if there's somebody else for you in your life that can do this and is willing to dedicate the time to do it, and man, what are you waiting for? Let me know what you think. If you try this out, or if you want some more, leave some comments below. I have an entire 12-week program that I'll give to you for free, for Pete's sake. I'll just give it to you. A lot of these people make you pay for this kind of stuff. I'll just give you the program, and then let me know how you feel about it, what worked, what didn't work. Try it out, give it a shot. It's fun and it's freeing. This is empowering. I know this was a long video, but it's gonna be worth it, because treating yourself and experiencing the best version of yourself is like nothing you'll ever experience in this life. You only get one life, by the way. I don't know if anybody else has realized that around here. You only get one, so don't waste it. Okay, all right, I've had enough time rambling here. Don't you love this car video? You guys are awesome, and I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and then as always, live life intentionally. Hey, so I just filmed a video talking about systems and goals and kind of the process of getting your life back on track, per se. And I want to just kind of to add something that I think is really valuable and super important to talk about. The whole point here is to better ourselves and increase our capacity to serve others and to leave an impact on others. That's the hope. We're not trying to become more selfish. We're trying to improve ourselves so we have more to give. That's the whole point. And so, yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of emphasis to that 12-week program. If you want it, get it, let me know.
You can do it! Get up there! Yeah!